Boys, I've been attacked by a cuddle bug. Can we take a second to recognize how impressive a 315-pound bench is? Like, less than 0.1% of the world is benching 315. There's got to be some sort of like comparison between millionaires and people who bench 315, right? It's got to be a close number. But anyways, today we have a couple sets of 8 at 345 with no leg drive, bars and presses. So it'll be a pretty easy day for me, and we're kind of ramping up until the real big weights. So I'm just getting my breakfast ready. I just got my cup of tea, and I just finished cooking my eggs and beef with ketchup. And this little guy, Mr. Grumpy Pants, is not going to be happy today because outside it is raining, and when it's raining, he refuses to go outside when it's raining. So he's not going to get his outside walk this morning because it's raining, and he's a temperamental little toddler. So he's going to be grumpy today. I'm going to be grumpy today, but that's just because I'm a grumpy pants, just naturally. 'Tis cinema, so I will show, not tell. This is not dog food. This is dog food. This is not dog food. And Buddy is throwing a tantrum. Hey, bud. Hey, bud. Don't do that. Don't do that. Thank you. So, I've been following my nutrition plan to a T for a while now. And we are at a point where it needs to be updated. And my nutritionist just updated it yesterday. So, before, I've been having my eggs and beef, and then I'd have a bagel with honey. Now we're trying to bulk up through until the American Pro 3, so we're adding more and more carbs so that I can grow more and more muscle fibers, because we've cut down, and now we're in a position where our body is utilizing all the nutrients that we're putting into it for use in metabolism, muscle fiber growth, stuff like that, because hypoglycemia is popping up on my rest days, which is an indicator that we need more carbs. So we're in a good position, and my breakfast now has been updated to eggs, beef, and 2 bagels with honey, and it's supposed to be 40 grams of honey, which didn't update. Hey, sir. Buddy. Little guy. He's mad at me. So he decided that he wanted to cuddle me while I was in my chair at the table. And I was like, okay. But as long as your face does not go over the table. So every time his face would go over the table, I would bring his head back, not over the table, over my lap instead. So he figured that out, and he said, let me see that face, bud. You making a stupid face? If he put his feet on my hand, then it can't take his face away from over the table. Which, I mean, to be honest, I was really proud of that problem-solving moment for him. But also, I was like, all right, we're done. You're not gonna outsmart me today. But yep, we've got 2 bagels with 40 grams of honey coming up, and I'm gonna let Buddy outside so he can burn off some of this energy, this anger. Bagel stack, 2 bagels, honey, and I'm still working on my tea. I decided to drag his little lazy butt out. So it's raining, and he's not happy about it. But it is what it is, and he's going to suffer with me. Because if I have to suffer, he has to suffer, right? That's how equality works. But we're just taking a 10-minute walk. We don't have too much time this morning because I planned not to do this. So I lollygag. Not okay. He got rushed by, I think it was like 3 or 4 dogs in the same week. 3 or 4 different dogs off leash, and he has not been very happy since. He's been kind of aggressive towards any kind of dog, and anytime we pass one of the dog's houses, he kind of freaks out like that. So he's a little bit of a grumposaurus, and the only thing we can do about it is just act as if nothing's going wrong and reprimand him, kind of. Just make sure that he's comfortable on walks again. Make sure that he's not feeling in danger or endangering other people. Kind of like raising a child. Make sure that he understands what he's doing is wrong and how to proceed with said new instruction. So, slow guy. Little guy. And we're going for a little guy walk. Little guy walk? Yeah. Alright. See you guys with my next meal. Another adjustment to the diet plan. We've got 215 grams of cereal. I usually like Fruity Pebbles or Cocoa Pebbles better than this. I just decided to remind myself why I don't like changing things. So I got a different cereal. Walmart brand Waffle Crunch, 6 out of 10. And 16 ounces of Fairlife fat-free milk. And also, One Piece. Because it's going to take me a while to eat this because it's a lot of food, a lot of volume. And I'm struggling a little bit with the volume. But, I mean, if it were easy, everyone would be doing it, right? There's just an ungodly amount of food in my system right now. And I'm... More food incoming. But... if you want a little bit of information from an expert, between cutting and bulking, since I've done both, I went from 387 down to 328, and I'm on my way back up to 355. The harder between the two, cutting and bulking, is whichever one you're currently trying to do. So, existence is suffering, bite the pillow, we're going in raw, and open your throat, daddy, you're about to get a shot of protein. Breakfast of champions. Alright, let's do a little theoretical scenario here. So let's say you go out of your way to help someone out because they refuse to drive their own car, which works. They just don't want to. So you take it upon yourself to drive them into work, and you structure your entire morning after it, right? And you make sure that you're going to leave on time for them to get to work. But the whole time they're moaning and complaining that you're taking too long and that they're going to be late for work. So you leave at the time that you said that you were going to be leaving at, that they okayed, that was previously, before all their complaining and moaning, that was, hey, this is the time we're leaving at. We're going to get you to work on time. So they get in your car and they say, we're going to be late anyways. Let's make an extra stop on the way so that I can get energy drinks and cigarettes. Okay, whatever. They spend 15 minutes in the store, right? You're already taking about half an hour out of your day to make sure that they can get to work on time just once. Not even talking about picking them up, which will be another half hour. So that's an hour of your day gone. Hour and 15, maybe hour and 30 at this point, with all the extra stops that they're having you make, right? They're complaining and moaning that they're going to be late the whole time. And then they add in that stop. That makes them even later. Not even later, just makes them late in general. And then they proceed to shit talk everyone around you and vape the entire time in your car, despite you ask them not to smoke in your car. In this theoretical scenario, who would be the a-hole? Would it be the person who is driving, refusing to drive them any future times, or the person who's being an a-hole? The person who's refusing to drive their own car to work and is also breaking all of your car rules and is also placing all the blame of them being late on you. Who's the a-hole? Let me know down below, because we all know who the a-hole is. So, unrelated note, I just dropped someone off at work, and I only got halfway through my meal 2 preparation. Well, not meal 2 prep. It's like my pre-gym preparation that happens after meal 2, where I'm prepping my intra-training carb drink, as well as prepping my rice for the rest of the day, and then taking my pre-workout so that I can have a good training day. So I'm digesting the previous 2 meals because I didn't fully digest the other meal. It's just how the cookie crumbles. But yep, we're digesting both of those meals right now. It's sitting pretty heavy in the belly. Hopefully by the time we get to the gym, do our pre-training cardio, it'll be nicely digested for ourselves to be able to utilize during the training day. So I'll see you guys. I don't know where I'll see you guys. You guys tell me where you see me, because I don't know where I'm gonna see you. Boys, we have a major L in the phylactery of our world right now. I seem to have, I don't want to say misplaced my earbuds, but more likely than not, they fell out of my pocket at some point. Because being mildly autistic, I always know where everything is of my own possessions and never lose anything. So the likelihood that they fell out of my pocket is higher than not. And usually when something goes missing or is misplaced, it's generally because someone touched my stuff. And I don't like it when people touch my stuff. So we currently do not have earbuds for this training session. And with the amount of disrespect we got this morning, theoretically, we are about boiling over point with our levels of emotions right now. Things are compounding, and we're about to lose our shit on the people who are disrespecting us. And I don't want to say it's not pointed at anyone. It's not pointed at anyone at the gym, just to clarify. I'm just tired of being walked all over. So I'm about ready to do some things. I have a bed in my car because I'm never actually sure I want to actually stay where I live. And all I have to do in order to live out of my car is buy a cooler and get access to ice. As well as perhaps getting a 0-degree sleeping bag. So, my bed right now, if you can see, is covered with shit that someone has placed on there, as well as my passenger seat. And I said, please get the shit out of here. And they said, okay. It's been 3 days. So I'm about ready to throw all this shit in the garbage, as well as put all their shit. They just have so much shit everywhere. I'm just tired of just... So I'm mildly autistic with a tendency towards OCD, because spectrum. So I like everything nice and straight. I don't lose things. I can't live in filth. But I live with someone with ADHD, and every time I say, hey, please clean this up, they go, oh, well, ADHD. Oh, well, you can't blame me for my mental illness. And I'm like, but you blame me for wanting to not live here. So, I could get our landlord involved by telling them I will not live there until they take care of their shit, meaning they lose out on potential rent and whatnot, and just live in my car, because it's getting to be summertime. And I mean, summer's a little difficult to kind of deal with because the heat in the car, But there's places around here that are covered, and I've already got this little bad boy, a thermometer in my car, and I've got the window protectors in my car all set and ready to be utilized if I do want to live in my car. But if I live in my car, I won't be able to do the voice acting, or not voice, the audiobook narration stuff, because it's where I live. It's in a closet the size of a doormat. But I did just get approved for DoorDash and Uber Eats, so I could do a lot of that to make ends meet and be able to afford the food that I need. The last steps I need to live out of my car is I'm split between a propane or butane stove, like a single burner. I'd have to get a cast iron pan, because those are more, not rigid, but durable. That's the word I'm looking for. So that would be the cooking situation. Rice is going to be a little hard. I could pot rice. I'd have to get a pot, which will take up more space in the car. But I also need a table, which wouldn't be too bad. And I got all my toiletries in a bag already at home, because I'm always ready to go. It's just, these are just little things left that I could do in order to live out of my car. And like every single day, I thought I was doing better, but no. It's like there were a couple tough conversations that had to be had. They were had, and then it went, oh, just kidding. We're not actually going to follow that anymore. And I'm like, okay, so just further disrespect me. Cool. It's not like I was trying to be an adult here, but I guess we're not being adults here anymore, and I would rather live in my car than be disrespected like this over and over and over and over and over again. That being said, if I do live out of my car, and I do, would I want to live out of it for an extended period of time? If I live out of my car for over a month, I might just move. I might move to, I'm split between the Tampa Bay area near Pinellas Park, because there's Craig Foster down there, guy who squats more than I do. Or I could head out to Las Vegas, where my coach and nutritionist are, just make sure they don't know I'm living out of my car and they won't freak out at me. And because that would be like a prime kind of situation, and just live off of DoorDash and Uber Eats. And I mean, if I'm just doing that, then, and training, I mean, at the end of the day, what I really want to do is just train and do everything I need to be successful, to be a good power lifter. Like, I don't really care much about anything else, which is probably a bad way to go about things, but it is what it is. But anyways, I just got to the gym. I already took my pre-workout. I've got my water and my intra-training drink. We've got 20-ish more grams of carbs today in that intra-training drink, so it might taste even more like chemicals or more sugary. It's just carbolin and creatine with purple crystal light in there. So it's a bench day. Let's go bench. So pretty good bench day, and I know I say that every time that I go to the gym. Pretty good this day, pretty good that day. If your programming is right, every day is going to be a good day. So the bench, Larson press 345, 4x8. Set 1 and 2 were a little rickety, and then something clicked, and my body forgot that 345 was feeling heavier during the previous 2 sets, and it would just bust it out nice, good. Like, it wasn't intentionally tempo, but like, you know, when you start busting reps out and you build up an internal tempo and it starts to feel good, it clicks, it doesn't really feel heavy, it feels like you just keep going forever. That's what it felt like. So it was better than expected, because my bench has been feeling a little rickety recently. We implemented some new cues before the Ghost Clash, which were spread the bar and bend the bar. And we were trying to implement that into my bench with the Chaos push-ups. And I was doing them really well with the chaos push-ups, and it wasn't until yesterday when I was doing the video on rotator cuff, shoulder, and pec injuries and how to mitigate them and how to deal with them. Did I say how to deal with them? I don't know, but it was a video on that where I showed chaos push-ups, and I also showed the bottoms-up kettlebell incline bench press. And something about that, I was thinking about that when I was benching today, because I was like, I don't want to be a liar of myself. I'm like, these are all good things to do. I want to maintain doing the good things I do and not get lazy. So like there's even more eyes on what I'm doing now that I have kind of presented what I want to do in my training. And there's more eyes on what I'm doing than just my coach, because if y'all are watching those videos, I said in it that I do it in my own practices. And I want to hold myself accountable to that, because it's how you're supposed to do it. And it's better. And if you don't, Ed Cohn once said, you got to treat the lightweights like the heavyweights, then the heavyweights will start to move like the lightweights. So it's really easy to get into like a, this isn't that heavy, so I don't really have to go through, I just go through the motions and it'll move, I'll get done with this, and you kind of don't really get anything out of that. But that's kind of how it was with the first two sets of bench. But the second two, it was like a mental click. Something went off in my head, and I was like, oh, okay, we're forgetting to do this cue, we're forgetting to do that. And then everything like dominoed, and then it felt really pretty, felt really good, felt really strong. And then the incline bench press, good. I might have to increase the weight soon. And then the incline dumbbell skull crushers, those, I don't really like those. There's a little bit too much stress on the elbows. I can't really get a good stretch, so you saw me like go up on the bench there. I'm trying to implement a tempo. I get a really sick pump from it, but there's a lot of stress on the elbows, and my left elbow wasn't feeling too happy while I was doing those. And then the pec fly close grip, I guess, push-up, pretty, I mean, that's just bread and butter. It's just tempo, making sure I'm getting that 013 tempo going on there, because that's how you should approach all your accessories, with some sort of 013 tempo, making sure the eccentric is really long, making sure the hold at the bottom is really long, and getting that good stretch, getting that good stimulus, because it's stretching under a load. Approaching that accessory like stretching under a load. Close grip push-up, it's a close grip push-up. I don't like to do anything fancy with those. I just like to bust them out, maybe even pulse push-up them a little bit, because, I mean, if you press off your chest fast enough, you don't have time to have any weak points. So if you've got an 800-pound bench off the chest, then you've at least got a 600-pound bench at lockout, right? Something like that. Some sort of warped logic there. And then the good old dumbbell curls. Those are nice. Those are good pump things. Those are good things to get thumbnails from. But I keep using the thumbnails from those too often, and I've got to find a new one. I don't know what to do about the thumbnails. They're getting repetitive. But anyways, good training day. I do have a bellyache. Buddy this morning, he was acting weird yesterday, and then this morning, in his morning business, he found like 6 different spots to spray his mounds. He had a bellyache, and he expressed that on multiple different spots this morning, and I was like, oh, that's not good. And then I did the same thing, so we both had something. It might be I've got springtime allergies, and it's springtime, so the springtime allergies might be acting up, because it's like I've got something sour in the back of my throat, like in the sinuses, where it's like just sour. So I got a bit of a bellyache, and I still don't feel like I've finished digesting those 2 meals. It's a lot of food. I'm not done digesting things, so that's just something to consider. And I've got my chicken, rice, and sauerkraut meal, and it's I mean, it's a meal. Yeah, I just don't... it's just a little rough to get down right now because I'm still feeling full. I'm not hungry yet. So, yeah. That's not fun. But I mentioned at some point last week that I got interviewed to be a substitute teacher. I got all my references in. All my references responded. They're true homies. And I got the job. I mean, they basically told me that as long as my references came in, I got the job. So I've got to do fingerprinting today at 3. It's about 2. I don't know if I have time to eat. I might go, because I have to find my checkbook. I think I know where it is. I hope I know where it is. Update, I don't know where anything is. Hey, buddy. Buddy Pop. Handsome boy. Mr. Handsome Guy. Hey, buddy. Are you taking a nap, little guy? Are you taking a nap, buddy? Oh, I hear big stretches going on. Do you want to come out, bud? Yeah? Are you going to come out, little... Oh, that's a buddy head. That's a buddy head. Oh, big yawn. You want to come out, bud? You want to come out? Oh, I hear big stretches going on. Whoa! Whoa! Little guy. Hey, bud. How's my little guy? Oh, big stretch. Big stretch. Little guy. Yeah. Where you going? Where you going? Oh, you just had to get an extra room for your big stretch, right, bud? Oh, double big stretch. Gotta stretch out that butt. Hey, bud. Come here. Oh, good boy. You know exactly what to do. That's a good boy. Poop break. Kitty. Ow. Okay, to be fair, I don't like getting woken up either. Kitty. Oh, big yawn. Big yawn. That's a kitty. Kitty. But I have a theory that the worse someone's eyesight is, the less they care about how dirty and gross their glasses are. Because my glasses get pretty dirty and grody. But my left eye is essentially blind. It's a lazy eye, and the vision is so bad that there's no corrective measures they can do to fix it. And when I'm not wearing glasses, I can close my left eye. Okay, even when I'm wearing my glasses. And my vision just doesn't change. Like, it's really bad. But, I really don't care about this lens. And there's probably Buddy slobber all over it. Because that's where Buddy likes to stick his nose and tongue when doing things. And, yeah, so that's a theory I've got. What do you guys think? If you guys have made it this far into the video, what do you guys think about that theory on glasses? The dirtier they are willing to accept their glasses being, the worse their eyesight is. I think, maybe. It might be the inverse. I don't know. You guys tell me. Alright, so a little life hack I've mentioned a couple times. This is my chicken for the day, or this meal. It's a life hack because I didn't even think of it. And, Brianni Terry actually showed me it when I visited. And if you have the opportunity to reheat any food in a frying pan, take the frying pan option. If you have the time, take the frying pan option every time. It is always better. It's not gonna make your food weird like microwave. I mean, oven is also pretty good too, but you gotta reheat heat up the entire oven, and your meals are going to be small enough that a frying pan is going to suffice for a lot of that stuff. So, pick the frying pan. It's always better. And you get a nice little char on your chicken, if that's what you're into. If you're into good food, you know. If you don't like good food, I mean, you don't have to do it. So we've got 245 grams of chicken breast, 400 grams of white rice, 2 globs of sauerkraut, super scientific method of measuring, a heart-decided amount of honey mustard, also very scientific. We got one piece, we got Buddy Pup, and we got me. And a diet root beer. Yeah. Got our first delivery here ever. Smells delicious. It's a lamb gyro, I think. I don't know what these Dasher YouTubers do. I'm just sharing my life here. It smells good though. It's hummus and lamb. But luckily, I just ate, so I'm not hungry. And it's not going to cause me to suffer. I am suffering. I'm very hungry. I'm not hungry. I'm very deprived of variety in my diet right now. Forever. So, maybe I can live vicariously through everyone here. You know? But I'm gonna do this until I have to pick person who leaves car on empty when they borrow car off. Not cool. Not cool. Alright, so I probably made a mistake and took an order. So, in the place that I picked up was less than a mile away from where I was. And the drop-off was 14 miles away. All I saw was a double-digit dollar marker, and I was like, yep, good idea. And I was like, it's not going to take 40 minutes, so we're good. And then it still hasn't popped up as completed despite finishing it. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know exactly how Uber Eats works, but allegedly I made 20 bucks this hour, but also allegedly I don't know what's up with that order. I don't know. I followed all the instructions, took the picture, and left a note and everything, and it's still hasn't been listed as completed, so I don't know what's going on with that. I did all the completed checklist things, and it already put me to looking for new deliveries, so I don't know what's going on with that, but I'm done with deliveries for the day. I'm going to pick up the bottom feeder that steals my car if I'm not looking, and yeah, and then so I finished the recording of my audiobook, the ebook, the powerlifting ebook that I've been writing, pretty much been writing since 2019, but I finished it off at the end of last year, and I was waiting for people to edit it, and then no one did. So I did the audiobook reading, and I was like, oh, there's a major error in here. So the way that I structured the program is I literally copy and pasted a program that I had assigned one of my clients, and I was like, it's close enough, you're good. But I hadn't actually like read through it, and all I did was get rid of the percentages, and it didn't follow the structure of ABA going on that that I outlined in my program, or the outline for how to complete a program following the anabolic theory, which is going to be the title of the book, Anabolic Theory. So I'm gonna re-record, or I'm gonna edit that part of the ebook, and then I'm gonna re-record the most boring section in the entire book, where I literally went from start to finish of the program. It's 12 weeks, or not 12, it's 4 weeks plus 3, 9. So yeah, it's about 6 months of programs is up there, and I read it line by line, and I do go crazy a little bit going on in there, but I need to adjust it because I have an ABA kind of methodology going on, because you don't need overhead press. And if you're a conventional lifter, you don't need sumo, but it is good to train both of those. So it's not an optional day. It's a day that it's an accessory day that also works on kind of like mechanically similar movements, where sumo, if you're a conventional puller, sumo is the best accessory for conventional pulls, and it also helps elevate your squat into getting stronger. So you increase your sumo, you increase both your squat and conventional deadlift. Overhead press, you're basically building muscle armor for your shoulders and making yourself stronger for the bench. So I've arrived at my destination. I have to call, and I can't just honk my horn and make them come out because it's a public place. And also, that's very rude to do. Don't pick up your dates like that. Anyways, Patty out. So we've got our first dinner up. We've got 70 grams of guacamole, 400 grams of rice, 220 grams of 93.7 beef, and of course, one piece. And of course, there's a buddy pup, who will be a massive pain in my tuchus this entire time. For some reason, I've developed an aversion to consuming my final meal of the day with a shirt on. No idea why. But it's like, I'm in a more common area. I'm like, I want to take my shirt off to eat this meal. But it's like, it makes no sense. Why would I want to do that? So I'm just going to be uncomfortable eating this meal. Unless I take it somewhere that I can take my shirt. I'll see. Oh. I forgot to show you guys, to flex on you with my swallowing skills. Because it's important to be good at swallowing if you want to be strong. Something, something, something. Dana Lynn Bailey said that probably at some point. I don't know. I would not be surprised if Sarah Jessica Parker said that in Sex and the City at some point. Because that show was whack. I haven't seen it all. But what I did see, whack. Bagel. Art. Dog.